This whole week so far after the games, I see a lot of people talking a lot about Patrick Mahomes. Rightfully so. What Patrick Mahomes did on Sunday night was unworldly. One of the greatest performances in postseason history from a guy who's already 5 years in, one of the greatest players we've ever seen. But I don't see a lot of people talking about Jalen Hurts. First year at Alabama, he started. They go to the national championship game, lose a heartbreaker to Deshaun Watson and the Clemson Tigers. Next season, they get back to the national championship, and he loses his job to Tua in the national championship because he was playing bad. The next season, he's the backup for Tua. Remember, this is before the transfer portal, basically. This is before the portal, before that era. He sticks on the bench for Alabama the next year, comes in the SEC championship game versus Georgia, where they were down in because Tua got hurt, wasn't playing well, came in and won that game. Next season, he transfers to Oklahoma, was a Heisman candidate, played well, took his team to the postseason, obviously lost, and now he's in the NFL draft. In the NFL draft, and people are saying he's second rounder, third rounder, if that. I was confused on that because I saw a guy in college who clearly shown that he could play up to par with the Joe Burrows and the Tuas and the Justin Herberts that were in his class. He showed he can play as good as them. I mean, heck, he was the starter over Tua for one point for a reason. He was the runner-up Heisman. He was a Heisman finalist for a reason. So I don't understand. I just didn't make sense to me why people had him rated going that low. And I remember when he went to the Eagles, and I said, number one, I knew he was going to be their franchise quarterback, because you don't take a quarterback in the second or third round and have no plans of playing him. So I knew he would be good enough to get some time in and eventually show that he could be that number one guy. But what I also said is, if he gets a chance to play, he will be on the same level or be doing as well or as successful as guys like Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. A lot of people thought that Jalen Hurts wasn't even going to be the starter for the Eagles this season. A lot of people were questioning, is Jalen Hurts the guy? If you're the Philadelphia Eagles, do you look to trade? Or a lot of people are saying that, the Eagles should have made a push for Deshaun Watson. There was a lot of questions on whether Jalen Hurts was really the guy for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I was just saying, go. Just wait. We've seen the improvement year after year after year this guy has done. Even in his second year his first real season as a starter, he took the Eagles to the playoffs. Now, granted, they only won 9 games, but his first year, if you take your team to the playoffs in your first year of starting, I don't understand why there are questions about, is he the guy or should you be looking to move on? He just took you to the postseason. Now, obviously, he ran into Tom Brady and they got dismantled, but I saw a bright future in what they had going on, especially with the emergence of Devontae Smith coming in. Me being a big Jalen Hurts fan and a big Jalen Hurts believer, I would be lying to you if I told you that I expected him to play as good as he played this season. I would be lying to you if I told you that I thought that he was going to take the Eagles to the Super Bowl in his third or really his second year as a starter. I would be lying to you. I knew the potential of Hurts. I didn't know it would come this quickly. But it's a testament to who Hurts is. Since day one, he's been one of the best leaders in the NFL. He leads not only on the field, off the field, in the weight room. You could see it. He's the prototypical. He's what every GM wants in a quarterback. He's what the Arizona Cardinals want Kyler Murray to be. He threw for 3,700 yards, which was ranked 10th in the NFL, 22 touchdowns, and mind you, he missed 2 games? He missed 2 games with the shoulder injury. So to be honest, he could have easily thrown for 4,000 yards. Easily. 4,000 yards, compared to his first year of starting, which was last season, where he only threw for 3,100. So he threw for 600 more yards, 22 touchdowns, which was 14th in the NFL, and only 6 interceptions, which was tied for the fourth least, and a 66 completion percentage. That was 4th in the NFL as well, compared to last season, where he was, I believe we have him right here. Compared to last season, he was only a 61% in completion percentage. Improvement of Jalen Hurts from year 2 to year 3. It has to be talked about more. Like, I understand, and I'm the biggest Patrick Mahomes fan. I understand that what he did, and it should be talked about. But they are playing another team in the Super Bowl, and that other team has done really well, and it's because of Jalen Hurts. They look at this team. They could have easily went undefeated this season. I know a lot of people were buying into the fact that, is it Jalen Hurts or is it the team? Is it the team around him? Like when Michael Parsons said that dumb stuff on that podcast with Von Miller, saying that Jalen Hurts, basically he was saying Jalen Hurts was a system quarterback. We clearly saw in those last 2 games, or the 2 games that Jalen Hurts missed when they put Gardner Minshew in, they were amongst the bottom 5 in scoring and turning the ball over. And of course, they lost 2 games. They lost to the Saints without Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts comes back the next week against the Giants. He doesn't even play well, but the team looks so much better. That's not a system quarterback to me. Jalen Hurts is what makes this team go. And even in this postseason, like, I'm not gonna lie, he's not playing, extremely great. He's not looking like him. He's not looking like what he was playing before his shoulder injury. But the fact of the matter is, the fact that he's out there on the field and his ability and what he brings to the team makes them a Super Bowl contending team. And I don't see people giving him credit for it. I mean, to be honest, before his injury, I thought he should have won the MVP. Because he was playing the best at the time on the best team. And when you are playing the best on the best team, you're usually going to win the MVP. I think that Jalen Hurts just put himself in a whole new category of quarterbacks. I just think that we need to give Jalen Hurts more credit than what he's receiving. Not saying that he's not getting any, but I understand people are caught up in the Mahomes hype, but we have to look at Jalen Hurts and realize people were questioning if he should even be the quarterback for this team before the season even started. Now we're coming into the Super Bowl and we're trying to figure out if Jalen Hurts is has a chance to be a top 5 guy or not. If he wins the Super Bowl, there's no way, in my opinion, you can keep him out of your top 5 best quarterbacks. There's no way, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that's everybody else, but I'm just saying if he goes out, beats Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, mind you, he's not 100% healthy either. So if he goes out here and wins the Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes in year 3 with the improvement that he had, there's no way that you cannot say that he's not a top 5 quarterback at that moment. Whatever your top 5 is whatever it is. But in my opinion, Jalen Hurts has to be in it. I just want to give Jalen Hurts his flowers before anything happens in the Super Bowl. What he's done this year has been nothing short of remarkable. And it's how every player should strive to improve their game. Like I said, last season, people had major questions about his passing ability. He came back this year, or came back in the summer, was able to work with somebody on his mechanics, and was a whole nother good of a passer. I mean, from year 2 to year 3, it's like day and night. He's the best quarterback in his division, one of the best in his conference, and one of the best in the NFL, and it needs to be talked about more. And trust me, I'm still standing on what I said when he got drafted. Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, they'll have the better stats because they have the better passing abilities. They have some in Joe Burrow have the better weapons. So they'll have the better stats than Jalen Hurts when it's all said and done. But in my opinion, who do I think is going to win more? Who do I think is going to win championships more? Who do I think is going to have more deep runs in the playoffs? I'm putting my money on Jalen Hurts because his whole life he's been a winner. So I'm going to put my money on the guy who's been winning ever since he's been put on a national stage. Like I said, 2 seasons at Alabama, he was in a national championship. The next year he transferred and he took his team to the playoffs. So he was in the postseason every year every year when he was a starter or a player, he was in the postseason. He's a winner.